Wolverhampton. Golden Ticket present 3 final rounds for the Professional Lightweight Championships. Sponsored by Ace of Vapes. This is your main event of the evening. World's Make Some Noise! Hands in the red corner, the record 8 wins and 3 defeats. Weighing at 70 kilograms, representing United Fortune in France. Amin! Ayoub! And his opponent in the blue corner, the record 10 wins and 3 defeats. Weighing at 70 kilograms, representing UTC Stature. From Whitechapel, Wolverhampton,
Final instructions from referee Neil Hall.
Wow, I got goosebumps. I'm looking forward to this one.
Tim Wilde in the black with red and white trim. Amin Ayoub in the red with grey trim. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them in the lightweight division for the Golden Ticket Lightweight Championship. We are underway. Brad Wharton, Steve Cook-Abbott, privileged to call the action for you from cage side. And already Tim Wilde putting those feet to work, Steve.
Yeah, a constant movement. And Amin Ayoub, I mean, is this a case that where the grappling is going to be key for him? We shall see, but there are not many lightweights that.
Yeah, we saw Damian Brown try and grapple with Tim Wilde, and you know it didn't work out too well for him. The counter grappling works well for Wilde, but of course he's in his element on his feet here. We're already seeing those interesting angles on the kicks.
Yeah, those sort of teaks to the front of the knee and top of the knee.
Interesting angles on the punches there from Amin Ayoub as well. Let's see if that keeps up. Wilde took a shot there.
Yeah.
If there has been a criticism of Tim with his striking is that he can get so confident that he has left himself open to counter-attacks before.
Yeah, like I say, he's just got to make sure that he sticks to the game plan and keeps focused again, because when he does, he's a handful for any lightweight in the country, in Europe.
Now look for the lateral movement as well from Wilde. He'll hop from one foot to the other and then throw a strike on the angle. Makes it very, very difficult to predict where the strike's going to come from, and of course, beautiful combinations like that.
Yeah, what Tim does particularly well is he very rarely just uses a one shot. He's always fighting in combinations.
And if he does throw a one shot, it's like a ridiculous spinning hook kick or something. And we've seen him end fights with those recently. Picked up a domestic title with a spinning back hook kick.
Yeah, it's little moments like that worry me for Tim. When he goes forward and the hands are down and the chin is up because he's trying to close that distance so quick. Got to be careful of the counter.
Amin Ayoub not looking fazed by what has to be one of the most partisan crowds I've ever been involved with in MMA in this country. As you said, Steve, half the building here tonight to see Tim Wilde.
Yeah, I mean,
and the other half will be back to see him next time.
Without question.
Nice straight kicks there. That's that traditional martial arts background, the karate, the taekwondo that Wilde mixes in so well.
Oh, big headshot!
Right hand.
But he's not done. He's there. He ate it, but he can't keep eating them. And now
it was a left high kick and a right hand that did the damage.
Ayoub now straight into the clinch. Doesn't want any more of that exchange for the moment. And again, very nice attempt at the trip there. Wilde very, very strong, keeping his base and staying up.
And this is why I liked him at lightweight now, because it's a strength game when you're in that clinch, trying not to get taken down. We've seen Tim handle himself well on the ground before, but this is where he needs to be. Oh, vicious striking combination!
Oh, and landed again!
Punches coming in from all angles.
He's
from
gotta-
the experiment.
Gotta be careful though, because a man he's not going anywhere.
He certainly isn't, but he went south of the border with that shot. Accidental, I'm sure, but south of the border nonetheless. Amin Ayoub sent to a neutral corner here. Tim Wilde will have 5 minutes if he chooses to take them to recover.
And of course, the longer Tim has to recover, the longer Ayoub has to recover himself.
And what was absolutely phenomenal about that exchange was the angles that Wilde was landing from. So unconventional. It was almost like a video game combo where someone's just mashing the buttons.
It's a little bit. Do you think now it's maybe change of game plan time for Amin Ayoub?
Oh, it has to be. It has to be.
Doesn't want to let Tim keep this distance, although...
Yeah, we've seen him let loose with those big lunchbox fists a few times. And, you know, we've seen Tim take those single shots and go down before. So that's going to be in Ayoub's head going into this one, that he might be able to one-bomb Tim Wilde. As far as this fight's going, he's not having success on the feet. Surely at some point he's going to have to change the game plan up. Oh, look at the angles here and the sideways movement from Wilde. Phenomenal stuff.
Tim's movement is excellent. And again, how he finds the angle and
great combination punching there from Tim Wilde. Oh, and there's the hook kick.
We've seen that in the recent past.
Stunned him again with a left and a right. And Wilde is more than happy in these kind of fights. Big left hand there from Ayoub, and he's chasing Wilde down now. And Wilde closes the distance.
And Wilde looking for the takedown.
Look out for the elbows from Tim Wilde from this position.
In his amateur days, there was nothing more frightening than Tim Wilde in that position, because he would just unleash a level of ground and pound.
Big knee from Wilde, and another combination of strikes.
10 seconds left in this one. And Wilde, I think, has comfortably secured round one in this.
As advertised, this is a whole heap of fun. Steve, I didn't think this one was going to escape the first round going into it. We talked earlier on about perhaps both our title fights not seeing the distance, and this was the one we kind of settled on, perhaps a first round finish. Amin Ayoub not here to make up the numbers.
Absolutely
He's
not.
given Wilde a lot to think about with those big, powerful single shots. Wilde has done what he does best. Lots of punches from strange angles, lots of kicks, lots of nice movement to set things up. It's going to be a very interesting second round.
Yeah, I think Wilde has to be careful in this round now. I think when he sometimes rushes in, we've seen him eat a couple of shots from Ayoub, and I just want to see him fight smart this round now. You've got to round up. Nothing silly. Of course, there goes my sense of bias. Absolutely.
Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Amin Ayoub reacts. I would think by this point he's got to reconcile himself with the fact that he's not going to win a battle in the pocket.
Yeah, it's not going to be a kickbox. He's not winning a kickboxing fight. Tim staying busy, not giving any time to set.
You know, he's not winning a kickboxing fight, but that doesn't mean he can't win a brawl on the feet.
That's right, like that.
Yeah, pocket fighting like that is where the shorter, more compact fighter finds the advantage against a lankier, more technical opponent. Does Ayoub go for the takedown? Does Wilde go for the takedown again? Not seeing the elbows on the feet so far from Wilde. We'll see if that comes into it as we move on with the second round. Spinning back kick to the body there from Ayoub, way wide of the mark. 8-3. I'm ranked fairly highly, I understand, of French fighters.
Yeah, absolutely, and in the top 10 in France at the moment. And again, when I think of some of the lightweights that are coming out of France, that's not so bad.
Absolutely not.
But the longer it stays like this, the more frustrating it has to be for Ayoub. He's not getting owned on the feet, but he is getting outstruck, and Tim Wilde is the busier of the two.
And as you said, Steve, it's not just one shot coming in from Wilde. he's landing a big shot, and then there's 5, 6, 7 behind it.
Yeah, he looks to follow up almost every time. And again, those...
When you've been stung like that, and all you want is 2 seconds to catch your breath, all of a sudden you're catching those hands of Tim Wilde. Not a nice place to be. Wilde slowed his output ever so slightly here in the second round. Oh, big head kick, and Amin Ayoub takes it on the chin.
I mean, he ate that like I'd eat a cheeseburger from McDonald's.
And there's a gash on the shin of Tim Wilde.
Yeah.
That could potentially be very dangerous the longer this fight goes on.
Is that from a check?
That's from a check. He threw a kick earlier on, and it was caught right on the side of the knee by Amin Ayoub. I have seen kickboxing fights stopped for cuts like that. Peter Ertz was notorious. His shins were covered in scar tissue. He used to tape them up at the end of his career because he would land low kicks and head kicks, and his shins would split. And it's a very, very nasty injury. And we're seeing it start to bleed quite heavily here. And what a terrible situation this would be if we saw this fight stopped.
Yeah.
Now, does Wilde stop throwing that kick? There's no damage there. He's not going to feel it.
But if it opens up huge and a doctor steps in...
I would hope common sense would prevail. Wilde looking at big right, a left hand rather from Ayoub. Wilde calling him on though.
Yeah, saying bring it in. And is that always the best strategy?
Oh, big wide right from Wilde.
Little smile there from Tim. I think he was just chancing his luck there with that.
Watch when Wilde switches stance to right foot forward. Huge shots coming down from Tim Wilde here. We briefly lost power there, so apologies for the break in commentary. But Tim Wilde firmly in the driving seat here, Steve.
Yeah, Ayoub now on his back, and he was eating some heavy shots there. Wilde is putting the pressure on inside control.
Yeah, we've seen Wilde on the ground before. He's known as a stand-up artist. Equally adept from the bottom position. Final 10 seconds of the round.
Yeah,
Wilde steps up. Amin Ayoub is going to be allowed back to his feet here.
Whoa.
Second round over, and business is picking up.
Amen, brother. Can't wait to see this third now. I do believe that Wilde has done enough, which means that French kid is going to be dead. It's going to be dangerous for these last 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Amin Ayoub now in a position where he really does have nothing to lose. And perhaps we're going to see those haymakers and that balls to the wall style come to bear. Tim Wilde receiving treatment here, and the referee consulting with the cutman in the corner briefly. It should be okay to go. The cuts team, there's really not a lot they can do. They can basically cover it in adrenaline to stop the wound bleeding, and then pack it with as much Vaseline. The problem is, as soon as he lands that one kick,
it's out. It's gone. Oh, here we go, our third and final round here in our lightweight championship match. Oh.
Third and final round for all the marbles. Tim, the experiment Wilde, Amin Ayoub. Great show of respect between these two lightweight warriors.
Absolutely. We've got to give Ayoub credit for saving Tim's fight by taking it. And fantastic performance so far. Tim bouncing. Oh,
it's a big right hand. and it momentarily drops Amin Ayoub.
And that's a horrible leg kick to follow it up. I don't want to see Tim rush here. He can't let the fans get in his head. He's just got to keep picking those shots.
Sometimes the desire to go in for that kill shot can be overwhelming, especially in a situation like this where Wilde has hundreds of fans, practically the entire building, willing him on. Let's see if he can be patient, if he can be mature here. Looks like he can thus far.
Yeah, it's definitely up to Ayoub to change where this fight is taking place and its tempo. Wilde can, nice straight. Wilde can keep this up for the next 4 minutes. If Amin Ayoub doesn't step on the gas and change things up.
And you'll notice now Wilde is using the push kick with that right leg more, and also the oblique kick. So he's striking with the sole of his foot rather than the shin now with that cut limb.
Yeah, and as you pointed out, within sort of seconds of the round starting, it's opened up again. Not going to be enough to stop this one now, though.
I wouldn't think so. I'd be very surprised if it did. And you see again looking for the oblique angle.
Ayoub now stepping forward a little bit, trying to maybe restrict some of the movement, some of the room that Wilde has. Oh, it's a nice straight hand.
Oh, so accurate. He caught his man right in the eye there. Ayoub just gesturing to his eye, but that was the punch.
Yeah, snapped his head back. Beautiful straight hand.
There can't be too long left for Amin Ayoub.
Another big head kick. I'd like to... Needs to get his back off the cage. Tim just walking him down now.
Oh, beautiful kick from Wilde.
I mean, that was horrible.
Wilde going in for the kill here. Takes side control.
Just a little low kick to the calf and dropped his man. Tim looking to pass.
Good work from Ayoub here, though, to get that knee shield in.
Good
in half guard now.
Good dominant position here for Tim. Got to be half a round, less than half a round left now.
Yeah, absolutely. Wilde looking to punch away. He's going to either take the back or lock his man down from that half guard position. Ayoub looking for a knee bar here.
Yeah, nice spin out by Wilde, but Ayoub not like we keep saying, not here to make the numbers on the great sprawl by Tim.
Yeah, Ayoub was straight on that single leg there, forcing Wilde to defend and get the hips out. Good work from Ayoub there to flop to his back to prevent the knee coming in on the stand-up. Wilde beckons his man up. And we're going to see another exchange. Wilde's corner team looking on with bated breath.
Yeah, I think they're hoping for a finish.
I'm sure Wilde is too. But whether the finish comes or not, what a phenomenal performance this has been from the experiment thus far.
Yeah.
Amin Ayoub running out of time to cause the upset and break the hearts of Wolverhampton.
With the exception of maybe a couple of shots, the Wilde hasn't had to deal with very much for the 15 minutes. And another huge head kick from Wilde.
Nice left hand from Wilde there as well. And he has so many avenues of attack, Steve, that it makes it such a nightmare for him to fight. The spinning strike attempted from Ayoub.
Something out of Street Fighter there. Bit of Dowsum for us.
That's Wilde's wheelhouse, usually with the spinning strikes. We've not seen as many of them, but it's been a relentless barrage of punches and kicks. Nice flying knee by Wilde.
And that's the time.
A hook kick on the death from the experiment. And Steve, it has to be said, the experiment is a success here in Wolverhampton.
Absolutely. Over the 3 rounds, didn't look to be in any real significant trouble once. A good performance from Wilde. And hopefully we get Park here in April.
Well, whether we do or we don't, that's something for another day, a conversation for another time. Tonight's all about Tim Wilde, a triumphant homecoming. He's fought all over the country against some of the best that Europe's had to offer. Tonight, he fights in his own backyard, a building jam-packed with his own fans. And like I said, Steve, if that doesn't send you home happy,
no, that's a phenomenal
put the tap-out shirt in the dustbin. MMA is the wrong sport for you, my friend.
Amen.
And we have to apologize just briefly, ladies and gentlemen. We unfortunately had something of a power outage in the building during that contest, so if we did drop out on commentary around the middle of the second round, we do apologize. Sometimes these things happen in MMA.
Sometimes.
Judges tallying their scorecards here. The vacant golden ticket lightweight championship will be awarded, you would have to think, to Tim Wilde.
Another regional belt for the experiment.
What a gutsy performance from Amin Ayoub, though. I'm not here to make up the numbers.
Absolutely.
Very few men could have taken the shots that Ayoub took and keep coming back.
Yeah, he's checking his profile.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I announce the official decision, let's hear from both our fighters in what was a fantastic main event this evening. And after 3 rounds of action, we're going to go into the judges' scorecard. The judges scored about 30-27, 30-25, and 30-26. All three in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And now the golden ticket.